This video was a long time in the making.
You're now watching
Dan Jones.
What is up guys, Dan Jones here, and today I want to tell you my progress story of how I went from 150 kilos to now being at 102 kilos. So the question that everyone will have, how did I start? Well, this is where things get a tiny bit interesting. I had a nightmare, which normally with nightmares you fucking hate. And I hated it at the time, it scared the shit out of me, but if it weren't for that nightmare, I don't know if I would be in the position that I am in today. So I had a nightmare that I stepped on the scale and it said like 400 and something and it scared the shit out of me. I woke up and I jumped on the scale. Mind you, I was 13 or 14 at the time. Like, I was just hitting grade 8 in Australia. I don't know what it is in America or wherever you guys may be watching this. But I was in like grade 8 and I looked at it and I started crying. I was having a meltdown. Like, it scared me. I was like, how can I lose this weight? And I remember my dad, he heard all of what was going on and he asked me like, what's going on? Are you okay? And stuff like that. And I told him, he believed me from the word go, which I'm always grateful for. Like, that's something that always stay with me, because unfortunately my father has passed on. So I just have all these memories of him now, but he was one of my biggest believers. He always believed in me and he was like, you're gonna lose this weight. Like, he had that belief system in me, and from that day forward, I just grinded to get to the results that I wanted. Now, with exercise, how it first started off, by the way, there's a cyclone going on, so if you hear any like ruffling or like weird noises,
Fucking Salt Hill, both today and yesterday.
besides, we're also in a garage, which will probably echo quite a lot, but there's a massive Cyclone Alfred is happening out here, folks. But basically, my exercises would just be me running around the block. And that wasn't even a kilometer at the time, which doesn't even seem like a lot because it wasn't really a lot. However, compared to the choices I was making prior, it's a drastic change. I remember running around the block. We had some spare hand weights at the time, and that's pretty much my exercise routine at the time. Obviously, it drastically changed to where I am at now. Like, I'm more educated on the topic of exercise and nutrition. But back then, I didn't know anything about it because my mind wasn't even in that world. I didn't know anything about nutrition. I didn't know anything about exercise. I just thought any form of exercise, any form of eating vegetables, that was good. Like, I was completely uneducated about the topic. So, what I used to eat when I was like heavily obese, well, what didn't I eat? Pretty much, what didn't I eat? But all jokes aside, like, for breakfast, I would have like 2 to 3 meat pies. I would still be hungry. Mind you, there's probably like 500 calories in a meat pie at least, right? I would heat them up in the microwave, eat them, still be hungry. Squirts and squirts of ketchup on them, and I'd still be hungry. So what I would do, I would get like 4 to 5 slices of bread, put like ketchup in between and smack it together, and I would have that on top. And that was just as a snack, mate. So mind you, 14 at the time, knew nothing about education, and this was the lifestyle I was living. And my dad was worried sick about me. Like, he never really said anything to me until I started losing weight because he didn't want me to worry. Like, honestly, guys, you really need to appreciate, like, your parents and stuff like that, because even if they don't say it, they really do appreciate you and worry for you. So even though my dad didn't say anything, like, when I was heavily overweight, maybe, like, the odd thing here and there, like, just how much he worries about me, he kind of didn't want to worry me because his main priority was seeing his kids happy. But yeah, started running around the block. For food, complete 360. I went from as I said, having the meat pies, having all that, the curried sausages, all the good stuff, like pretty much any fattening food that you can think of, all the KFC. I was never actually a big fan of Macca's, so I can't include that, but like pizza, everything I cut out. Like, that's just not the lifestyle I really want to live anymore. So basically, I would eat any form of vegetables. I would put fish in the oven, season that up. Now see, this is where I became more passionate about food, because I love cooking now. Like, I'm a great cook, and I feel like from losing weight, it made me a great cook, because it taught me how to learn and make my own meals, as opposed to relying on like takeaway or like frozen meals or store-bought items. So even though like at first I will admit the food was fucking horrendous. I'm not even gonna bullshit, the food was fucking horrendous. Like fish and veggies, like no substance, no balance, like it was pure dog shit, like boiled veggies without any seasoning on it. However, it helped me lose weight, so that's one benefit that came out of it. But yeah, basically that's how I started, and within like the first few days, I lost about 4 to 5 kilos. Like I started at 149.8, and then I dropped down to like 145 or 144 point something. And I'm like, oh shit, this is actually working. But see, this is the thing, that might seem like a lot of weight, which it was, and I know weight fluctuates, but another thing I want to point out is when you lose weight at a heavier weight will drop down faster. So, for me now, it's harder to like lose as much weight. Like I still will lose a lot of weight in a short time span due to the fact of calorie deficit, exercising quite a lot, and making sure I eat the right things. When you're a heavier weight, like even if you do fuck all exercise, your body isn't used to you making these changes, so therefore the results will come quicker because your body isn't used to it yet, and you're doing something actually good for the body. So I started losing weight, and I continued. I saw the progress. I continued, and I was in that mindset at the time. I need to do something to make a drastic change, because I always want to lose weight, but we always get scared. And like that's something I need to work on myself now, because like I still get scared of stuff and I avoid it because I get scared, as opposed to being like, if I try, at least I know that I tried and I'm getting a step closer to the result, as opposed to avoiding it and just pushing myself further away from the result. Like, this isn't just about weight. Like, this is about anything you're scared of in life. Like, the more that you're scared of it and push yourself away from it, the further away you're going to get from those results and actually getting what you want to achieve, if that makes sense. Like, a big one for me at the moment is driving. I'm 20 years old, turned 21, and I've only driven one time in a car park. And I'm still scared shitless to do it. However, the more I avoid it, the more, like, I won't get the results I want. And, like, I need to kind of realize that, because, like, it will be such, like, once I get the end result, I'll be so proud of myself. And for someone who's been through this in the past, I should know that the results do pay off. I know we went a bit off topic there, but yeah, I just kept on going because I saw the results, like, going with my weight and stuff like that. And I think I got it down to like 130 at one stage. So I got down to 130, and my dad was so proud of me. Like, his little boy, like, accomplishment, I can't speak.
Today, Junior.
Accomplishing this on his own without any help whatsoever, no outside interference or nothing like that, no personal trainer, no gym even. Like, just this is just all on me. Like, my own nutrition, my own form of exercise. Even though they weren't the greatest at the time, it worked. Like, I didn't know anything about calorie deficit. Like, I just saw, how many calories should I have per day? I just searched it up, and it said 2,000, so I just fucking went with it. I didn't do any research, don't have the knowledge that I have now, because with calories, it's suited to the own person. It isn't like one all be all. Like, you could be fucking 6'8" and you might need like 3,000 calories to lose weight if you weigh like 106 kilos. That's just like a rough example. I don't even know if that's even possible, but like my point still stands. Like, not everyone's the same. Like, I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm about 6'2", 6'3" on a good day, but basically, like, me compared to the average bloke, the average Joe, if you will, like, our body will need different forms of, like, fuel. And also exercise as well. Like, I exercise a fuck ton now. Not as much as when I, like, did boxing, because, like, a bit of injuries, and also just, like, time with work and stuff like that. So I want to talk about factors on how to get into that later on in this video. My dad gave me $500 to spend on new clothing. So where did all the cool kids go at the time? Culture Kings. So I went to Culture Kings, and this was the moment, like, I knew they lost weight, but it kind of kicked in, like, now I'm at the point, even though I got the biggest sizes at the time, because popular stores like that, like, their size and charts might go up to, like, a 3XL, and I think my highest at the time was 6 or 7XL, okay, when I was, like, at my biggest, and at that time I was about a 3XL, or something along those lines anyways, and I finally felt like I can wear the clothes that I want to wear, even though, like, I wouldn't have pulled it off at the time because I was still at a heavier weight, but I was at that feeling where it's like, I am so proud of myself. I don't need to wear all these shitty clothing that, like, don't look good on me whatsoever. Like, at my heaviest point, I was just wearing any clothes that, like, would fit, even if it meant squeezing into smaller clothes that started ripping apart because I was that big. Like, so when I finally, like, got these new clothing from Culture Kings, like, it felt so cool because it felt like something I haven't felt before. Like, obviously, you don't really remember the clothing that you got as a young kid because it was mainly bought from, like, your parents and stuff like that. But having the choice to be like, you know what, I can be stylish in this. Like, I can feel good about myself. And, like, that felt amazing. And that further motivated me to get to the results that I eventually got to. And I just started losing weight. And along that, people started noticing I had teachers coming up to me, teachers that probably didn't even like me, coming up to me, and they were starting congratulating me, like, they were proud of me, which formed better relationships with those people, along with, like, making more friends. I remember when I first was heavily obese, I got bullied a lot, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one, a lot of people probably would have went through that, and, like, I got bullied a lot, and then people, like, I had people who were friends with the people who bullied me being like, you know what, they actually secretly said to me how proud they were of you. Like, even if they don't admit it to you, like, everyone notices the change. Like, you shouldn't do things for people's recognition. I don't really do it. I don't really give a shit what people think. But my point is, like, if people notice, you're making those changes. And, like, a lot of people are proud of you for those changes, even if they don't want to admit it. But continued losing the weight, and I met more people. I became friends with more people, and the confidence slowly started to build up because, you know, you feel like you belong now. Like, you don't feel as though that, you know, you're an outcast from society for, you know, your weight and stuff like that. You finally feel like you fit in. And I kept losing weight, and then, like, I was 110 kilos, and that's like a 40 kilo weight difference. Like, I was still, like, fat and obese at the time, but, like, at that point I felt like Superman, like, going through a drastic weight change, and, like, had, like, so many friends at the time, and it just felt great. Then I have to admit the downfall of that story is basically, I think I actually got down lower. I think I did get lower. I think I got down, it's either, like, I got down to the 110 mark and then put on a bit of weight from, like, issues that happened, or I continued losing weight and this is what happened. I continued losing weight and I got down to about 96, okay? I got under 100, and, like, when I got under 100, I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was surreal for me. Like, it didn't even feel real, and I was so proud of myself. Like, I was, like, a totally different person, and, like, to the point, I'm not really a guy who cries. Like, I'm not trying to be one of those men don't cry bullshit. Like, I don't really cry. However, like, that was one of those moments when I genuinely cried from, like, how proud I was of myself. But then life hit me. Depression. Now, depression is a real thing and stuff like that. However, there's ways that you work with it, if that makes sense, which I'm more educated on the topic now. But back then, I was, how old would I was about like late 15s, turning 16, okay? And basically all my friendships went to shit. The girl I liked, she didn't like me back. All the like teenage shit, pretty much. And then my weight progress, I gave up on myself. I went up to about 125 again. It happened. It's not like a all fairy tale story. I put on the weight again. Even though I never skyrocketed back to the weight that I was, you could tell that I definitely put on weight again. And even like I was gymming and stuff like that, but I just did not give a fuck about what I ate. Like I didn't give a fuck about myself. I went through a stupid emo phase, dyed my hair black, looked like a complete moron, and I just let myself go. And then I got a bit of counselling and stuff like that, and I went to the gym with the counsellor, and I don't know what actually happened, but I started losing the weight again. I don't know what it was though. I forget what exactly it was, but started losing the weight again, got my confidence back. I actually think I remember now. I think I remember. I saw a woman in the park doing boxing, and I always had a fascination about boxing, like just fighting in general. I got into a lot of fights as a kid. I don't know why. I love wrestling. As a kid, I thought it was real, so I would just randomly pick fights with people, but I don't recommend doing that. But I saw this, I was so fascinated by that. And then I joined boxing, and I'm like, well, this is my happy suit now. Like, I don't really need the counseling anymore. Like, this is my outlet. So I stopped the counseling, started doing boxing and stuff like that, just for fun. Like, I eventually wanted to have a matchup, but I did a bit of boxing for fun. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but like, basically did that. Then I sort of stopped that, but I got down to like 96 kilos at the time. No, sorry, 94. This was my new low. I got down to 94. 96 was the first time. 94 was the second time. And this was when I was about to leave high school. Yeah, I was about to leave high school at the time. So, got down to 94, and I just started feeling great about myself. Like, even though, like, I did boxing, I didn't know how to fight at the time. Like, it was just a good outlet, and, sure, maybe I didn't have as many friends as what I did. So I had the one friend that I was always friends with, and I'm still friends with till this day. We've been friends for fucking 15 years now. Like, 15 years, that's a long time. So still being friends with him and stuff like that from, like, primary school to high school. We graduated with each other. If it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't have graduated. But now, graduated, got my high school certificate, even though it kind of means fuck all, personal opinion. But, basically, like, I still have him now. But with the boxing, I stopped boxing, and I went to, like, an actual fight gym. And this is when I actually learned how to properly box. Like, these guys are, like, full-on well-trained. Like, they know what they're doing. Like, they have professional fighters in the gym. I'm not going to say the actual gym due to privacy reasons, but they have a lot of, like, top Muay Thai fighters. Not so much boxing, per se. Like, not many, like, pro boxers. It's mainly a Muay Thai gym. But I started doing boxing because, like, that's kind of what I learnt before, even though I wasn't good at it. So I just stuck with boxing. Ideally, like, I love watching UFC. I prefer UFC over, like, any form of martial arts. Like, I watch some of the boxing, but, like, it doesn't interest me as much. With MMA, there's just more personalities there. Like, I don't know. I just feel it's just better. You get the whole different, like, kind of styles. You get, like, ground game. You get, like, high-level kickboxing. You get high-level boxing and all that. But anyways, I'm getting off track. So, when I first went to that gym, the intention was to do boxing. My first lesson was actually Muay Thai, which I never did before, and considering the fact I never did it, like, I kind of knew what I was doing. I didn't completely lose my balance, but I wasn't that great at it either. But then from there, did boxing and stuff like that. And then within, I want to say, how long did it take? Okay, within about 6 months, I joined the fighters class, which is the advanced class. So from learning just the basic, like 1, 2, you didn't even really learn that many uppercuts at the time. But basically, it was just like very simple combinations and stuff like that. It was hard, but now I got into the advanced class and learned how to fight. Now, learning how to fight is very scary, so they need to prepare you in the most brutal way possible. Which would transform into my current physique, mindset, and all that now. When I went into the fighters class, so when I was in beginners, I did about 3 to maybe 4 days a week. I might miss like 1 or 2 sessions. When I was in fighters, I was there every day. Like, you're learning how to fight someone. Someone's in there to physically harm you. Like, that's the kind of mindset you need to have. Someone's in there to physically harm you and beat the absolute shit out of you. So when I first joined fighters class, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I didn't know footwork. I didn't know, like, you know, how to have my guard up. Like, I didn't know, like, defense and all that, head movement. Didn't know any of that. Then, because the coach I had at the time, he was new, and he wanted to build, like, fighters from the ground up, not just, like, go with what was already left off from the previous coach. So, like, I was in the new batch, and I was learning, and it wasn't, like, until that coach left. Like, I started doing it for months and months. I was slowly getting better at doing personal sessions. A lot of frustration, a lot of anger between both me and that current coach at the time. More so from the point of view, my frustrations where I wasn't doing anything properly and, like, getting confused. His were kind of the same, but he also wanted to see the best for me, and he was getting frustrated at the fact that, you know, I wasn't doing it right and all that. Just the typical coach stuff, if you're, like, in the world of, like, any kind of sports. Basically, like, that coach left, so I went with a new coach. Well, that coach came in, so he was now our coach. And that's when, like, my progress started to pick up. Like, I was worried that I'd lose all the progress because, like, going from a different coach to another, they teach you completely different things. So I went with this coach, and my footwork got better. My head movement got better. And basically, one of the things that, because see, you need to do a bit of research as well, because, like, you learn things from different people, whether that's just in any realm of, like, any topic, if that makes sense. So whether it's boxing, one person can teach you this, while, like, you can learn from another and, like, learn different things. I always watched Tony Jeffries online. He's a boxing coach. I definitely recommend you checking him out, but my weakness was defense. I was so shit at defense. I wasn't the best at offense either, but, like, I've always been a power puncher. So, like, being a bigger, taller guy, like, I just hit hard. Otherwise, my technique, my trait, I guess, I don't know. But what I've always wanted to learn is footwork and defense. Luckily enough, that's where the new coach perfected in. And basically from there, just the boxer was, when I first started off compared to, like, then with the new coach, night and day, like, completely different. So that's where my mindset came in. Like, I would need to run 5 kilometers a day. So from the trenches of doing the 400 meters around the block compared to doing 5 kilometers each and every day, like, it's a drastic change. And when I first did the fighters class, it was like 5 kilometers, about 6 3 or 5 minute rounds of bag work. Like, there's so much shit that goes into it. I vomited the first night that I had fighters class, and I nearly passed. Like, this is when I got home. They never saw that, but they'll probably see it if I mention this video. But I vomited when I came home. I was that fucking, like, it was something I never experienced before, but then my mindset changed. It switched me into this animal. Like, I was getting stronger mentally and physically, like, and with having this new coach, it's like, he saw my progress and stuff like that, and it's like, why haven't they gotten you in for a fight yet? And I was just like, oh, the coach didn't think I was ready at the time. So we slowly built towards that, and when we were aiming for the fight, I would pick up things a lot quicker, become so fixated on getting into that fight. So the mindset changed because the more I wanted something and I knew what needed to be done, I did it. And so then we built towards the fight. The first fight I was meant to face someone, and then like I wasn't meant to due to like reasons. And then so we both pulled out of that. And then there was a second fight. They tried to line me up with a guy. He had a bit of experience under his belt. I think he had like 9 fights, 5 wins, 4 losses. I don't know. And like, this is one thing you never do. Never watch or study tapes. Like, you might want to a little bit, but then you just like, you focus too much on what they're doing as opposed to what you're doing. And I'm pretty sure any fighter will say that. Like, when I studied this guy, he was like making a lot of mistakes, hands down. Like, his form was kind of not really there, and I was too much focused on that as opposed to focusing on my weaknesses, if that makes sense. Which, if I was in boxing now, I'd probably focus more so on my weaknesses, because I would want to focus to the point where like I won't have any weaknesses that they can pick out on, and my strong suits will beat out that. Anyways, this is just a whole bunch of bullshit that I'm rambling on about. But exercising every day, I remember sparring like two times a week, and that takes a toll on you. Like, I have parts of me that will probably never be the same from boxing. Like, the inside of my nose is kind of broken. Like, the bony bit is now connected to the skin as opposed to being its own separate piece like it normally should be. Like, there's a lot of things that will probably not be the same. Like, luckily I still have good eyesight. My mental capacity is still there, I'm pretty sure, but like, it does take a toll on you, and like, you learn different things, like hard work, like planking for like 5 minutes straight, and like, it's the small things, and like, they might not seem like a lot mentally, but they are. It's like pushing yourself to the absolute limits. And what brings me to talking about this is because before I was doing barely any exercise and stuff like that, and now I'm trying to train to be a fighter. I learn about nutrition, I learn about exercise and all of that. And I noticed, like, I was eating healthier training for this fight. Like, one of the guys I sparred with, like, he fucking hit hard. So that's how I always remembered, like, we would just beat the absolute shit out of each other in sparring. More cases than not, I was the one with the black eye. I had shit defense at the time, so like, when we first started sparring, he just beat the absolute shit out of me. Then over time, he still beat the shit out of me, but I got a bit better with movements and getting a lot more shots on him. But my point is he studied a bit of nutrition and all that, so he taught me what I needed for the fight. Not so much to lose weight, because when I got my fight announced for the third time, it actually did take place, and this guy was way bigger than me, so like, I'm over 92 kilos, so when you're over 92 kilos, you compete in open weight, so you can face anyone at any weight, which I have a story to tell about that in a minute, but whether that's another video or not, we'll get into that. But my point is that I need to be put on a nutrition thing, even though I didn't need to lose weight, just to make sure I'm fueled enough for that. And I was on about 3,300 calories per day. Now, mind you, this was for an athlete at the time. This is not for the everyday person. If you're not an athlete, I do not recommend these calories. But I was eating about 7 to 8 meals per day. Just rice, salmon, veggies for most of them. Like, it was just carbs, because you need a lot of carbs at the time for energy. Whole foods, no bullshit or anything like that, just whole foods. And I noticed I performed better. I learned more about nutrition from what he taught and stuff like that. And from the exercise that I was doing, like, the nutrition that I was having, it was giving me more energy. Like, when I did my runs, I would do like 5 kilometers within like 23 minutes. I used to take about 30 to 35 minutes doing that. So, like, even though there's smaller changes, like, nutrition does play a big part. And I started learning about that, what my body actually needs. And when I went in for the fight night, I went from like 106 6 to 99. And like, even though it's not my lowest weight, like I was like in the best physique that I ever had. Like pretty much, like you could see definition like in the stomach area. You can see that my chest is like, you know, has a bit of pecs going there, like, and the arms, like finally getting some biceps. Now, like obviously I still had loose skin, which I do now. I will get into that in a second, but basically, like, boxing pretty much changed my life. Like, anyone will tell you this. It depends on the person. Each person has a different experience, but pretty much is, like, I went from someone who knew nothing about nutrition, nothing about, like, discipline, nothing about, like, exercise or anything like that, to doing boxing, facing it head on, and actually having a fight. Like, went from a kid who was 150 kilos to stepping in the ring at Golden Gloves, one of the biggest amateur tournaments. Like, it sounds amazing saying this, but then I realized I'm the one who went through that story. But I learned so much about nutrition. Like, I know how to be in a deficit now. I eat around 2,600 calories per day. I stand in at like 6'2", 6'3". I like to say 6'3". We always like to make ourselves seem a bit bigger. But, like, so you need to, like, I would recommend using a macro calculator. The two ones I recommend are either the EBT macro calculator or the Reform nutrition calculator, Cohen. And they told me about 2,600 calories per day for someone who exercises about 4 to 5 times per week, which I do. Even if I don't go to the gym every day, I walk over 10,000 steps, which should be your current goal. Anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 steps, I would recommend doing to get your step intake in to burn more calories than you consume. So that's what works for me. Nowadays, what I eat compared to what back then, I'll just eat I'll eat pretty much like low, when I mean low foods, like whole foods, I mean, not low foods, like eggs and a lot of meat. Like, I love meat. I love like cooking mince and rice. Like, even though they're bulking foods, that's one thing I struggled with when I first started doing boxing, is I was eating foods that you kind of eat to be on a bulk for, as where now, like, I will do, like, overnight wheat bix with, like, Greek yogurt and, like, a bit of Biscoff. Like, you need to have a bit of balance in there, but make sure it works into your calories. Like, that's what I'm saying. You don't need to, like, limit yourself so much with losing weight. However, make sure that you treat yourself, but work it into a calorie deficit to ensure you get the results that you want. So, I'll have stuff like that. I'll have like veggies, a bit of rice, and like a lean meat. And just make sure it's smaller portions. Like, I'll have like protein. There's like a protein meat pie that you can get. I know you probably shouldn't trust it because it's heavily processed. However, it works in my calories. I've noticed I lost weight with it. So it's what works for me. For ice cream, because I always get a hunger for ice cream, I either do a Ninja Creamy with like skim milk and protein powder, whiz that up, you're good to go, or I just get a Paddle Pop, which is like anywhere from 74 to 84 calories. So I make it work, and I have a lot more fruits now. Like, I never used to eat fruit due to the texture of things. That could be an autistic trait, I'm not entirely sure, but I never used to eat fruits. So now I find ways to incorporate them, whether that's eating a bear or not. Like, sometimes with bananas, I hate the texture, so I make like oat bakes with like oats and banana and a bit of milk, a bit of protein powder, tiny sprinkle of choc chips, and I make it work. Like, I find ways to ways to include it into my diet. With apples, I have apples and peanut butter. Peanut butter might not be the healthiest choice, but if you weigh it out, see how much it weighs, and get like the fats from that you need, have it with an apple. Good snack. Like, it's better than indulging in like a piece of cake or whatever. have beef jerky. Like, there's so many things which I want to get into, like, in a future video of, like, foods you can actually eat while on a weight loss journey. But anyways, I know I rambled on quite a bit, but that's how I went from a 150 kilo 14-year-old to now a 102 kilo 20-year-old living his best life. Like, honestly, there's a few things I wish I could improve on. Sure, like, there's always stuff to improve on in your life. However, I got a roof over my head, got people who support me, people who I support. I call that a win in my book. I call that a win. So I'm grateful for the things that I have. And I want to thank you guys for watching this video as well. If you enjoy content like this and want to see more stories from me, drop a comment, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.